Hello everyone, and welcome to another race in the Metroid Dread N% NMG tournament. This one is between Metatron and Greggy. We should be getting started here in just a moment. My name is Devilor. I'll be managing commentary for today. And yeah, it looks like we are getting started, and we should be on our way here in just a moment. So both of these runners have been they're currently in the lower bracket. Metatron was knocked down by Izzy a couple of weeks ago now, I think. And Greggy had a race. I actually was able to commentate Greggy's last race, and that was very close. That was very, very close. He kind of clinched it right at the last second. It was interesting though. It was an all bosses glitchless race that he and JLac were doing. So it was quite interesting. Let's see. I'm not sure if we're getting game audio at the moment. So hopefully we'll be able to get that. Oh, it does sound like we've got game audio. Perfect. All right. I am not hearing it for some reason, but that's fine. I can pretend. So we're heading on to our first little climb here as part of the race. We're going to be heading up to our very first pseudo wave here in just a moment. Metatron getting a little bit faster platforming through here, but he did actually get a couple of little hiccups there. So it looks like Greggy will be just slightly ahead in this first section of getting to this first pseudo wave, but we'll see how he does. Looks like both of them at the same time synced up on stream, at least. I think the timers are a little bit off, but both of them at the same time on stream getting that first pseudo wave. Metatron has the first hit on the second one. Greggy doesn't yet. Both runners actually having a little bit of trouble with that one. Looks like Metatron is going to end up clinching that first or that second pseudo wave earlier. And he's actually a bit low on health, which is a little bit scary going into the Corpius encounter here. There we go. Greggy finally getting that first one taken care of. So Metatron now heading into the Corpius encounter. See how he does here. Very, very nice first phase. Greggy now getting in there as well. Wow, that is a very nice second phase from Metatron also. Oh, he takes a hit. But he does manage to get the 2-cycle on Corpius. Very, very nice. We'll see how Greggy is able to finish up here as he gets through the end of the encounter. Missed a few missiles there. He's going to have to go into the third phase. Which is unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Nice. Quick cleanup there from Greggy, finishing that off. Metatron continuing on.
Uploading data.
All right, we're moving on to our first. Apologies, I had to fix a little glitch on my end for a second, but I'm back. We're moving on to the water skip. I'm curious if Metatron is going to go for the cutscene skip here also. There's like a little tutorial cutscene that if you do some precise movement, he's just going to go ahead and take it. So this little cutscene that we're seeing from Metatron can be skipped throughout the entire run, but it does involve some precise movement in a few different places. Oh no, he's actually out of missiles. Having to he's got to be real careful here. He's getting very low on health. That is unfortunate for Metatron. Now finally has some missiles, but he was not able to clear those bugs, which is going to give Greggy a little bit of breathing room to be able to catch up here. See how he does on water skip. A little bit early on the jump there. Oh, that one was close. That looks good. There it is. That was, what, 4th try, I think, on the water skip there. Not too bad. Greggy's coming up on it now. We'll see how he does. First try for Greggy. Very, very nice. Very nice. That's going to catch him up a whole bunch of time here. Water platform skip for Metatron. Ooh, actually having a little issue with it. Fourth try on that. It's unfortunate, loses a little bit of time. Greggy actually going for, he's not actually opting for the water platform skip though. He's gonna go ahead and do that manually. So not really any time lost there as far as the race goes for Metatron. He's still able to, with that fourth attempt, still able to do it in about the same time as he would have if he'd done the other method. So not a big change there. Looks like Metatron, let's see, I'm gonna try and time here real quick. It was about 5:06 going into this screen for Metatron. And 5:15, so about a 9-second difference between the two runners right now, which is nothing at this stage of the race. There are so many different ways throughout the run to catch up on this. We'll see if both runners go for this energy tank here. Looks like Metatron is going to grab it. And I'm going to assume Greggy will grab it as well. It's just a nice little safety. Oh no, Greggy actually skips it. Interesting. Okay. So that could mean a few things. The advantage, honestly, the biggest advantage, assuming that you're careful with your movement throughout the rest of the run and you're not dying to bosses and stuff, the biggest advantage that energy tank gives is the ability to do a hell run with a little bit of extra safety coming up. Now, that hell run only really saves 2 seconds. Obviously, there's lots of ways that having an energy E-tank, an extra E-tank can save you time throughout the rest of the run. Oh, unfortunate walk of shame there for Greggy. There's lots of ways that having the extra E-tank can save you time throughout the run, but I assume that means he's not going to go for the hell run in a minute. We'll see if Metatron does. That hell run will be coming up in about 5 or 6 minutes, I think. We'll see if he does. But this does mean that Greggy is kind of taking a risky play here overall. He's probably going to skip the hell run, but he will have less health throughout the run. So we'll have to see if it pays off for him, as he has managed to close this gap pretty substantially. I don't believe he usually skips that. I think that's a new trick that he's doing, or a new thing he's trying for this race today. I should mention, so Metatron was knocked down by Izzy, who was the 3rd seed in this bracket. So Metatron should feel like the overall favorite going into this race, but I know Greggy's been putting a ton of work into cleaning up his run and speeding things along. So I would not, like, I'm honestly not surprised to see Greggy going for some risky maneuvers here, trying to just squeeze out every last little bit of extra time that he can. And we can see he's already, like, he's starting to catch up quickly. Let's see how Mega Skip goes. First try for Metatron. Oh, Greggy unfortunately having a little bit of issue with it there. All right, that's unfortunate for Greggy, losing quite a bit of time for Mega Skip here. He's bonking his head somehow, which is very strange. We do have Metatron onto this first control center fight. There we go. Greggy just had to take a moment, reset himself, and get into there. So he will be able to get through that Mega Skip section. That is a required skip for this route, because if you do not do that skip, then you soft lock the game after defeating the brain encounter here. Metatron will be moving on to fight the white Emmy just as Greggy enters the control center. Looks like Metatron going for the very safe method of this kill. It is pretty slow to go around this route, but at this point he should know that he's got a pretty decent lead right now. So it's worth it to not risk an accidental Emmy death here, and instead go for a very safe, quick kill on the Emmy in order to, or it's a very safe kill on the Emmy in order to be able to be sure you're going to be fine. Greggy going for the riskier play. See how he does here. That's a smart move going ahead. It kind of seemed like he might have been able to finish off the faceplate by the time it reached him, but it was going to be very, very close. That's a smart move. Just taking the hop over the top of him and ensuring that he gets that kill. And that has allowed him to claw back a little bit of that time that he lost to the Mega Skip. Yeah, the method that Metatron did there definitely doesn't lose a ton of time. It's only like maybe 3 seconds. But as these racers are so close to each other at the moment overall, every little second counts, really. But of course, we also have a ton of this route left to go through. I'm also not sure. I'm expecting Greggy to go for the early space jump route as opposed to short boost. But I'm actually not sure if Metatron has been doing the screw attack short boost route or if he's been sticking to the much safer early space route. Unfortunate, having a little bit of trouble here with this damage boost. He might have to... Ooh, he might have the positioning here. Oh, this is unfortunate for Metatron. He might have to just go ahead and take the other method. Oh, there he gets it finally. Very, very low on health. Well done by Metatron. I have to say, well recovered by Metatron there overall. Being able to get that bird back into position to knock him up and over is like, it's actually very hard to get that bird back into the right position to get that damage boost. So very well done getting it back into position. Greggy, we saw, actually took the safe route entirely through there. So, yeah. They both do early space? Okay, good to know. Yeah. And yeah, no, the rail doesn't go slower if you're cloaked. The cloaking there is really just like something you can do instead of shooting the bugs and stuff as you're going past. It's like an ultra safe way to make that. Meta getting a little bit low on health here again. Nice big pickup there. That's going to help him out quite a bit.
Uploading data.
Trying to get a sense of the time differential here. Looks like about a 10-second difference between the two of them at this moment in time. There are a couple of tricky damage boosts, a potential hell run, and then Atom Skip coming up in the very near future. So there's a lot that could flip-flop these two runners in the next like 3 minutes. Both runners very low on health as well. Now it is obviously on rookie mode, so the health pickups give a lot more health, which is good news for both of them. It's like Metatron going for the damage boost, and he gets it. Very nice. Very nice. That saves about 4 or 5 seconds over the slowest method there. Greggy going for it as well. Very nice. Both runners nailing that damage boost. That's good to see. Metatron going for the safer route, not going for the hell run. He's not at full health, so that is absolutely the smart choice here. And Greggy's going to do the same because he doesn't have that second energy tank. So this is very smart on both runners to take this slower route. It's only slower by like 2 seconds. It's not really worth risking anything over if you're not feeling super confident in it. So absolutely the smart play from both of them there. Green Emmy also cooperating for both of them, not being in too tough of a position through this section. We'll see if he decides to troll a little bit here in a second. All right, let's see what spawning position Metatron gets for the Green Emmy. That's not looking promising yet. He's got the bad position, but he is going to make it through. Very nice. That requires very precise platforming to get through there in time. Green Emmy decided to be a little bit nicer to Greggy and just let him go on through. So both runners, again, just sort of staying neck and neck here. Greggy a little bit of trouble with that one enemy in the back in the last room. So that slowed him down a little bit, but not too bad. Moving up to this next platform here. Of course, I always like to mention this because it's the sort of thing that seems like why would you do this? But both will actually point up and aim up in the air as they come through that and stand on that platform because it allows them to open a door early so they don't have to wait for it a little bit later. It only saves a few frames overall, but it is a nice little move. All right, we are now on to Atom Skip. I'm going to assume both runners are going for Atom Skip. So let's see how Metatron does here. Greggy now entering as well. This could be a big equalizer if Greggy can get this quickly. Honestly, they're now 100% neck and neck. Whoever gets through this first is in the lead. And Greggy gets it first. Metatron's still working at it. He's had a few that looked really, really close. He's having a little bit of trouble with that respin and wall jump. That looked good. Oh, just barely shy. Greggy on to the next button to press here. That looks good. There it is. Metatron is now through as well. So that has now given Greggy about a 30-second lead, I want to say. Thereabouts at the very least. I'll try and get a sense of the timing here. Greggy got control back at 15:32 after this cutscene. It's a very long cutscene. So we'll see at what point Metatron gets control back. But honestly, in this route, that and assuming that both are going, ooh, unfortunate there, Greggy just slightly mistimed that jump. In this route, that and early space pseudo tend to be the two big equalizers. Looks like Metatron got control back at right around 16 minutes. So yeah, about a 30-second difference between the two runners right now. There are a lot of ways throughout the run to make up 30 seconds. So this is far too early to call a winner here. We'll see if Metatron gets this jump. Looks like he's waited a little bit too long, so he's just going to ride it up. Not a problem. And there's the first energy tank for Greggy. I do honestly wonder if Greggy's plan is to take E-tanks when he's ahead and skip them when he's behind. Assuming that he's paying attention to the restream at all and can see where Metatron is throughout the run in comparison. It wouldn't be the worst idea in a route to take the extra risks when you know you're behind and then pick other things up when you're ahead. There's at least one other E-tank that I absolutely expect that he'll take, which is the one immediately after picking up Speed Booster. But there are a couple other options that don't lose a ton of time later on that if he's feeling ahead, wouldn't be a bad idea to pick up for just extra safety on Ravenbeak. All right, now we are on to Dairon. We're going to have a little quick detour over here to pick up Wide Beam and then head straight back. Greggy not opting to go for the... There's a little maneuver you can do there that involves cloaking and aiming, similar to the slope jump for water skip very early on in the run. That gets you up there a little bit faster. Opted not to do it, and I don't mind that at all. He knows he's ahead now, and he knows he doesn't need to... when he's ahead, his goal is to not lose time. And that's a maneuver that you can save yourself a couple seconds, but you could also lose yourself like 10 if you accidentally fall down. So... looks like Metatron did grab it, so that's a nice little way for him to gain a couple of seconds of time there. All right. There's some very precise platforming through these sections as well to meet certain enemy timings. Like we just saw in Metatron, he was able to avoid getting hit by one of those birds just by having some very, very quick movement through that section. Of course, Greggy now picking up Wide Beam, hit this screen at 19 minutes exactly. So we'll see, we'll use that as a metric to check how far behind Metatron is when he gets there. Through the first Wide Beam block, no problem. There's Metatron picking up Wide Beam. We'll see where he is when he hits that screen. 31 seconds. of difference between the two runners right now, which again is not that much in the grand scheme of things. Second wide beam block, or excuse me, third wide beam block, actually, technically, for Greggy. No problem. Metatron actually pausing there for a moment to make sure that he lands the shot properly on that wide beam block, because he did get hit by one of those enemies, wanted to be sure that his shot landed exactly where it needed to be. There's the second wide beam block for Metatron. That's so hard for me to say. Wide beam block? I understand now why everyone just calls them Pedros. There's the third one, no problem. I don't know why they're called Pedros, which is why I don't call them that, but it makes it through all those, no problem. There is one more that each of them will have to deal with that has the potential to be a pain, but usually isn't. Coming up here for Greggy, no problem. The biggest thing on that one is you kind of have to let yourself just run face first into it, and then you're fine. A little bit of platforming here for Greggy to get over to the next control center fight. Nice clean fight for Greggy. And we'll see what kill method both of these runners go for their green ME kills here. There's a few different ways you can approach it, all with varying degrees of safety. It's like Greggy's going for the what I would call the standard method, where you just slide underneath that, pop the block, and then shoot him in the face. It looks scary, but it really isn't. There's plenty of time to get the kill here. Easy enough, no problem. Metatron working his way through the control center fight. Very, very clean for Metatron. That was very nice. You may also notice Metatron using some dash melees to get himself just a little bit closer. It's only a few frames difference, but it is slightly faster than just walking across the screen. Metatron going for the same kill method, but he did do a slightly different movement, which allowed him to get some earlier or some faster movement from the Emmy. Meant that the Emmy wasn't sort of flipping over as he got in there. So it's just very slightly faster on that Emmy kill for Metatron, I believe. All right, we're now both runners will be heading on to Variasuit. We have the hardest, easiest jump in the game right there. Greggy nails it. Does pick up the Missile Plus tank. There's some important, I guess, self-control that has to be done to get that jump, which is why I call it the hardest, easiest jump in the game, because it's literally just jumping straight up. All you have to do is stand underneath it and press B, but you have to stop in the right spot and like make sure that you're stopped before you actually jump. See how Metatron does? Yeah, see, unfortunately, he was a little bit off of the positioning. Metatron's skipping the energy, or excuse me, the Missile Plus tank, though. So that will save him a little bit of time, but it does have the risk of causing him problems when he gets to Kraid. Makes me wonder. My expectation now is that Metatron will use primarily charge beams in phase 1, but we'll see. I've seen runners continue just basically skip that missile pack and continue to use missiles all in phase 1 and just hope for good Kraid RNG. We'll see how it goes. Nice movement there from Greggy, actually, getting that morph jump up into that opening. See if he gets the corner shot. Lands it. Very nice. Saves almost no time. It's a very small amount of time that it saves, but it looks very cool. So it's it's always important to look cool while speedrunning. And here is the Varia escape for Greggy. Oh no, Metatron picks up the E part of shame. Sadness. Just got a little bit too close to it and picks it up. Not the cleanest Varia escape for Greggy, but not too bad either. Made it through there without too much issue. Nice! The corner shot for Metatron as well. Both runners in full swag mode right now. There's Varia suit for Greggy, just as Metatron is beginning the Varia climb. See how he does through here. Looking very good so far. Very nice. Very nice. That was actually close to perfect movement through that section for Metatron. Very nicely done. I had to say something so that he missed that jump. That's my fault. I'll take the blame for that missed jump. That one was me. I opened my mouth. All right, we got Greggy on his way through the teleportal down to early grapple. Or sorry, down to Kraid, then to early grapple. Metatron on his way as well. These runners are like this is still a very, very close race, don't get me wrong. We'll have to see how Kraid goes for them, because Kraid is a potential place to lose a whole bunch of time, even if it's not your fault. It's completely possible to just have Kraid decide to be a jerk, and as a result, you just lose a bunch of time for no reason. It's also an opportunity. There's a couple of really technical tricks that you can do on the Kraid encounter. I don't know if we'll see any of them, but there is some pretty technical stuff you can do, like a single wall jump with Morph Ball and so on, that is possible to save a little bit of time on the Kraid fight. So we'll see how these runners are feeling, if they're up for any of those, or if they're just going to go at it in the standard fashion. I'll also point out that Greggy does still have one fewer energy tank compared to Metatron. So he is at a higher risk of accidental deaths. Having a little bit of trouble in phase 1, actually. Kraid is not cooperating there. He finally gets through phase 1. Oh, interesting. So what Greggy's doing here is he's just shooting shots at Kraid's mouth, waiting for this move to happen. Just putting a little bit of extra damage directly into Kraid himself. That's an interesting strategy. It is risky. He does get the cutscene as well. I'm not sure if that was on purpose or not. It is a lot safer. There's potential to get knocked down in this section, so it is a lot safer to take that cutscene, but we'll see if that ends up paying off for him. Metatron makes it through phase 1. He's just going to go straight for shooting the belly button. Greggy makes it through. Oh, that's so unfortunate. That actually is really, really unfortunate timing for Metatron. Kraid had just started his maneuver to just like naturally give him the platforms to get up right as he hit the final shot that caused him to do the other move. So it actually just slowed everything down. That is very unfortunate for Metatron. But he does make it through Kraid. Zero issues with Kraid beyond that in phase 2. That was a very nice phase 2 for Metatron overall. So he will be grabbing the old diffusion beam. And we'll see Greggy entering the teleportal. I'm going to check the time on this. 28:13 is when Greggy enters the teleportal. We'll see how Metatron is looking at that point. Nice movement through there. It's looking like, honestly, the time hasn't changed too much between them. Still at about the 30-second area. I believe Metatron has gained a little bit of time. Yeah, 28:39. So he's picked up about 4 seconds in the last couple little sections here. So just slowly starting to claw back some of that time he lost earlier to Adam Skip. Greggy on his way over to early grapple. Ooh. This section through here can be deceptively easy. It's one of those that you feel like muscle memory should have for you all the time, but then just every so often your muscle memory fails you and you fall down in the lava, and that's unfortunate. Did manage to get a nice quick recover on that first jump though, and made it through the rest of the way, no problem. He'll be heading down to grapple beam now. Metatron now on his way through. Could actually see him pausing there for a moment just to put himself in the right mindset. I am never upset about stuff like that when in sections like this where It should be something that's easy and second nature, but at the same time, if you accidentally slip a little bit, you can lose tons of time. So no issues at all with that quick little pause there, just to focus up, get through the section, no problem, and continue on. See how Greggy does on the weave right here. Almost perfect. Slightest ledge grab at the end there, but he managed to disengage from the ledge very quickly. There's grapple beam for Greggy. Of course, it is possible to do that weave in morph ball form, which is even faster, but only by like literally a few frames. Metatron made it through the weave, no problem as well, and Greggy made it through the escape from the grapple area with 0 issues. Nice clean movement from both runners. Man, not happy. Oh, unfortunate. There is still so many places throughout this route to make up time. So we will see how this continues to progress. All right, back way through this section for Greggy. See how he approaches this jump here. He's going to actually do the roll out and grab the ledge method, which is slightly safer. There is a way that you can literally jump off of the ledge as you're rolling out of it, but the timing on it can be very, very tricky. Look at our yellow Emmy positioning for Greggy. Looks like good spawn on yellow Emmy for Greggy. Going to be polite and just let him through. Nice movement through there as well. Metatron does manage to nail the other jump I was talking about, where you jump off the ledge as you roll out of it. So he does save a very small amount of time there. Nice to see. See if the... Oh, that sucks. That's so unfortunate on that timing for Metatron. See if Yellow Emmy is going to cooperate. Looks like yes. Yellow Emmy is cooperating for both runners right now. So that's nice to see. Metatron lands that jump as well. That jump out of that tube up onto that ledge above you is very, very tricky. There's some very specific timings that have to be done on that. So both runners nailing that is really, really cool to see. There's bombs for Greggy. Metatron is not far behind. Gonna come up through here, turn on this switch, see if he manages to pop. I got a couple shots on the thing before he activated the platform. And a couple shots is honestly all it really needs. You don't have to have broken that blob before you get through there. It's cool when you can, but as long as you've gotten a couple shots on it, you will have broken it by the time you get to it. There's bombs for Metatron as well. You know, every once in a while, the Emmys decide to be polite. I don't know if it's something in their, like, programming or the way they're built, or I don't know what it is, but every once in a while, the Emmys just decide that Samus has got enough problems in her life and that they're just going to stay out of the way for her. And it looks like at least Yellow Emmy is doing that for both of these runners so far. We'll see how Blue Emmy is feeling once we get there a little bit later on. All right. Greggy entering this tram at 33:54. Metatron not far behind. See what this time ends up being here. It was 34:24, I think. So if not, then it was 34:25. But Still right on that 30-second mark difference between the two of them. Greggy playing it extra safe through there. I'm not sure if that was intended or not, but it's fine either way. Taking the extra moment there to kill that enemy as well, so he doesn't have to worry about falling down. I'm very surprised that Metatron got hit by that enemy there a moment ago. That was unusual. And we'll see. It doesn't look like Greggy. No, Greggy is not going for the backdoor bomb juggle method to get into flash shift. We'll see if Metatron goes for it. It is faster if you can do it first try, but it's very difficult, and it saves only about, I think done optimally, it saves about 15 seconds. But if you do it poorly, then you just lose a ton of time. So we'll see here in a moment. Nope, looks like Metatron's going down to the safer route as well. I have no complaints about that. It's a race setting. You're not necessarily going for PB. You're not necessarily going for world first. You're literally just trying to not lose time right now. And that is a very, very risky trick to try and pull off in a race like this. Looks like Greggy going all the way down to the bottom here. Not going to go for the pseudo wave method to clear these blocks. Oh, unfortunate. Metatron accidentally stepped on that platform and lost a little bit more time there. It's like Greggy not even going for the water bomb jump. He knows he's ahead, and so he can afford to take these safe little strategies that he'll have lost a couple of seconds over going for the water bomb jump to get up there, but that's better than accidentally spending a whole ton of time on water bomb jump and losing a ton of time. So see if Metatron, the path that he's taking here, I actually was expecting him to set up the water bomb jump there. It doesn't look like he did. That's fine. See if he decides to go for it, or if he's just going to move along normally. No, he's just going to go ahead and move along. First try, the water bomb jump in that spot saves you, I think it's 5 or 6 seconds versus going over to the left. But if it's about the same if you get a second try. If it takes you more than 2 tries, then you are losing time on that water bomb jump. So if either runner not feeling super confident in it right now, no problem whatsoever. Just go ahead and skip that water bomb jump. Greggy on his way up to the brain encounter for Yellow Emmy. Briefly got spotted there, but it's not a big deal. Doesn't mean anything overall. And there's the brain encounter. Now this is, in my opinion, the toughest brain room encounter in this route, just because you don't have speed boost yet, you don't have screw attack either, which usually saves a bunch of time on it, and there's a ton of things flying around the room at you constantly. So getting a clean kill on that brain room is always very, very nice. There's Greggy onto the Yellow Emmy. Interesting. So Greggy actually let it get a little bit closer to him so that he could kill it above a specific spot on the ground. That means that the Emmy is now, it's essentially fallen down to the ground in a lower area. So he will actually end up exiting this cutscene at a slightly closer area. There's been some debate on if it's actually faster or not to do that, but it's interesting that that was the choice that Greggy decided to make here. My gut feeling is that it's probably a few frames faster, but not by a ton, if it is. And honestly, it can also just come down to routing preference. Like, would you rather do that than not? See if Greggy nails the speed keep here. He does indeed. Very nice. I'm going to assume he's going to grab this. Yes, indeed. He's going to grab this energy tank. Using a Shine Spark to get up there. We got 2 speed keep sections going on at the same time here. Greggy's made it through his and got the first try on that grapple block also. Let's see. Oh no, Metatron accidentally used his Shine Spark a little early there. That's a slight loss of time, but it's honestly that one there isn't the biggest deal if you lose it, because you just immediately get your speed back here and go right up. Maybe 2 or 3 seconds time loss. That's about it. And using the flash shift method to get up there, which actually honestly probably gains him back those 2 or 3 seconds that he just lost compared to the method that Greggy used. Second try on the hardest grapple block in the game. Very nice. Greggy now on his way up to the Quiet Robo fight. Let's see if he manages to keep this Shine Spark. Oh, just barely missed it. He was like a couple of frames away from being able to use that Shine Spark and not have to grapple beam up through there. See how he does on the Quiet Robo fight. All right. Got the first Shine Spark. A little bit on the slower end overall, but he's just playing it safe. Going all the way up to the second platform makes it a little bit safer overall. Nicely done. See if Metatron keeps the Shine Spark through here. Looking good for him. Oh no, unfortunate. He didn't quite make it either. I think he was... I think he knew he didn't quite have enough time to make it, so he just went ahead and decided to opt for shooting those enemies instead. See how he does on this fight here. Opting for the same strategy, making the enemy, making the Quiet Robo, whatever he's called, the Chozo robot, jump all the way up to the top. Unfortunately, didn't quite get his Shine Spark saved. Should be able to get it here. There it is. Got one more to do. When you jump all the way up to this upper platform, it is a little bit safer in that you don't have to worry as much about getting hit by the robot and thus canceling your speed keep or your speed boost. But it does make it very slightly slower. That's interesting, using the Shine Spark to go up there. I haven't seen that before. It's an interesting approach to it. There is a lot of back and forth on Metatron's side. There's a lot of back and forth speed boost or jumping that you need to do in there typically, which can be rough. You can accidentally fall down or accidentally go through an opening that you don't want to and lose a bunch of time. So using the Shine Spark to just go straight up is an interesting, safer method to do it. Greggy on his way back to Berenia for the second time around. We'll have another big speed keep Shine Spark section coming up. Enters at 43.16. Metatron did do a did save a Shine Spark there. I'm not sure what exactly he had in mind for it. Possibly, I have seen some runners do it across one of the platforms in that room he was just in previously. See how Greggy does on the speed keep here. Metatron entering at 43.56. So again, 30 seconds behind, if I'm remembering the time for Greggy correctly. Interestingly, Greggy opted to go for the ball spark method through there, which is it's very quick and it's safe. It's not the fastest way through it, but it's worth pointing out. Gets the ball spark on the second section of that, or the second leg of that speed keep section also, which is very nice. Very precise timing on that ball spark. See how he does on drog skip here. It's the first shot. He actually, that was interesting. I think he managed to get a single shot to go through and hit it. So he ended up having to actually hit it 3 times. Metatron going for the faster speed keep through here. Does well in the first leg. Very nice. Here's the second part. Gets the save. Accidentally fires off the Shine Spark. That's like the 3rd or 4th Shine Spark that Metatron has accidentally fired off like that. It's very unfortunate. It'll make it through that second part without too much issue. Well, this is interesting. Ah, okay. So what he was trying to do there was get himself all the way up to the drog skip and get a Shine Spark saved so that he could use the Shine Spark to go up through this room, which is a very, very interesting tactic, but also requires you to get drog skip like right away, which he's having a little bit of issue with it. There he goes. Gets it. Going for the no cloak method. Oh no! Didn't quite get enough height. And he's just going to go ahead and cloak. Actually remaining cloaked for a while there while he was shooting. So he lost a little bit of health, but not too bad. Meanwhile, Greggy is finishing up the that Chozo robot fight. Very nice and clean Chozo robot fight for Greggy. No meta spark, unfortunately. We'll see how meta does on the Chozo robot fight himself. Meanwhile, Greggy has worked his way through, grabbing super missiles. Here's the Chozo robot fight from Metatron. Meanwhile, Greggy just working his way through, basically just some platforming through here. Nothing too crazy. Nice fight for Meta. And Greggy will be on his way to Ellen to pick up Plasma Beam. So I'm going to guess that Greggy is now about 45 seconds ahead. We'll see if I can get a more accurate timing here in a moment. Just a little bit of platforming through here. Nothing too crazy going on. Wow, my estimate was off. I think Greggy has closer to a full minute lead at this point. Yeah, a little bit more than that, in fact. There is Plasma Beam for Greggy. There's Metatron moving on to Elin. Yeah, that's about 1 minute and 20 seconds difference for Metatron, which is quite a large amount of time. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but it is still there are lots of possible ways that time could be made up throughout the rest of this route. There's still a few tricks coming up that we'll see if Metatron's able to claw back any of that time. Greggy on to the first Chozo Warrior fight. So far, very clean. You'll notice him alternating beam spam and missiles also. That's specifically, I know that Greggy doesn't use a turbo controller. So that's specifically, I would assume he's using missiles at points where he doesn't feel confident in his mashing, either because he's having to move around a lot or he's at angles or whatever. And then, oh, that's interesting. So he did end up actually picking up that energy tank here. Okay. I kind of expected that he would. And I'm going to assume that Metatron's going to skip the energy tank on the way out of here, and then they'll both have 3 energy tanks. We'll find out in a moment as Metatron comes up on this Chozo Warrior fight. Dynamic arm fatigue. Yeah, mashing in this game can definitely really make your arms sad, especially, like, I know Greggy's been fighting his way through the lower bracket, which means he has a lot more races than some of the other runners have. So definitely always good to keep your actual physical health in mind, which is part of the reason why Metroid Dread does allow turbo controllers as well, just because we want people to be able to run the game and not worry about breaking their arms in the process. But not everyone prefers a turbo controller, even if they're open to it. And yeah, it looks like Metatron did skip that that E-Tank, the same one that Greggy picked up. So both runners now at 3 E-Tanks. I don't believe we'll see any more E-Tanks picked up throughout the run. Greggy setting up for this water bomb jump. First try, no problem. Some tricky platforming through here. Very nicely done. Let's see if Blue Emmy is going to cooperate. In fact, he is. Very nice and quick kill on that brain encounter for Greggy. Mashing sucks, that's all. I mean, that's why it's good to have those backup strategies for weaving in missiles and so on. All right, so there's Blue Emmy down for Greggy. There's Metatron setting up the water bomb jump. He might have actually... Yeah, he accidentally clipped the ledge as he was falling, which deactivated the water bomb jump. But he got it second try, no problem. Tricky platforming here. Nicely done. See if Blue Emmy is going to cooperate for Metatron. Indeed he is. Blue Emmy has been polite to both of them so far. All right. So Greggy will now be on his way over to... Oh god, why can I not remember what's next? On to the next thing, which I will recall in a moment. Meanwhile, Metatron is working on the Blue Emmy. Ah, that's right. It's early space time. That was a little bit of a brain fart on my end. Apologies. All right. Early space. I actually kind of wonder here. Greggy knows he has a pretty good lead right now. He could decide to go... Oh, looks like he is going for the pseudo wave. Okay. First try. It's attempt number 2. Third try is not bad. Third try is not bad at all. Means he doesn't have to worry about resetting the health on the enemy or anything like that. And he's going to get up over here and grab early space. I was going to say earlier, he had the potential of trying to go around losing a little bit of extra time, but doing the bomb jump method instead. I know some runners find that method easier, even if it is slower. But it's kind of up to runner. Like I myself, I literally can't do the bomb jump method. I have to do the pseudo wave. Unfortunately, didn't kill all of those bugs, so now he's having to be a little bit careful through there. And nicely done moving through that area. Some relatively tight timing on freezing that enemy. We'll see how Metatron does on early space. He's also going for the pseudo wave. That was his third try. That was fourth. He's going to go for a fifth shot. If he lands this shot, the enemy will die. If he, assuming that he gets the pseudo wave through the wall, the enemy will die on the fifth shot. Or I'm a liar. It did not die. Maybe I miscounted. Okay. Now he's going to have to run out of the room for a minute and take some time to reset. It's unfortunate. He actually has to spend a fair amount of time outside of the room for that enemy to respawn. This is a very, very precise pseudo wave that Metatron is trying to do. There it is. Does manage to land it. That was, I think, his 7th or 8th try. Not ideal at all for Metatron, but he does complete it, and he's moving on and grabbing his early space jump. So yeah, I'll explain now that they're both through it, I'll explain what the trick that they were doing there a little bit for that early space pseudo. Essentially what they're doing is they're positioning Samus in such a way where she can shoot at a very precise angle that will then cause her shot to go through the ground. On top of that, they're waiting for an enemy that's down there to be at a specific point in its animation so that when the shot hits the enemy, it causes the splash from the diffusion beam to reach just far enough to hit a blob that then explodes and lets them go through there. It's a very, very precise trick. And I know there's a lot of runners who actually ended up preferring the screw attack short boost method just because of how precise that shot has to be. It's a trick that people have been using for longer, so more runners are more accustomed to it than they are to screw attack short boost. But yeah, it's very, very tough. It basically, the gist of it is they do a little bit of maneuvering to get Samus in a specific position, and then charge up and go into morph ball form to start. That's the other thing I didn't mention, is they have to go into morph ball form instead of just shooting at a specific time, so that this is interesting. Greggy actually went over to the right first to do that there. I assume he's going to use this instead of a water bomb jump to get up here. Indeed he is. And now he has screw attack. But yeah, early space pseudo is a very precise timed trick. So it is never surprising, unfortunately, when it takes a while for someone to get it during a run. So what Greggy's done there is there's two different spots now where he's used a shine spark to maneuver himself upwards instead of essentially a water bomb jump. The second one doesn't technically require the water bomb jump glitch. You can just do a bomb jump to get out of it, but both of them are pretty precise. And if you can get the shine spark, it's way easier. And in fact, he's going to use the shine spark method up through there as well, just because it's a little bit safer than going for... You can just space jump your way up through it, but the timings on those jumps are very precise. So greggy has a whole bunch of maneuvering around to do at this point. I believe the next step is gravity suit for greggy. But he's going to have to go through a whole bunch of these teleportals to be able to get there. We do have Metatron coming up on. I didn't actually get a chance to comment on it, but this section that Metatron is coming up on, which greggy got through perfectly, requires some weird space jumping on the surface of the water physics to eventually allow yourself to get out of the water. It's very easy to accidentally mess up the timing. Again, there's a lot of things, especially in this route, that are specific to just timings. You will have to do a water bomb jump to get up here. Nails that. And then he's basically rubbing off of that ledge there to do space jumps at an exact moment. And that's not the absolute fastest that can be done, but it was still very fast. So well done to Metatron getting through that. Metatron is going to use the water bomb jump method to get up here. I'm actually not sure why that water bomb jump didn't work for him. Second one's no problem, though. One of those crazy rudders that prefers short boost route because of space. Yeah. Not me, I will say. Not me. I do not like short boost, but some runners do. Metatron again with the water bomb jump, no problem. Now he's got to do that same weird space jump on the surface of the water trick again. Nails it. And now because Metatron didn't go over to the right already to break this block, he does have a pseudo wave that he needs to do here. And he actually managed to, that's actually super impressive. He managed to, that was very, very nicely done from Metatron. So he managed to get his Shine Spark, save it, get the pseudo wave. It's not the hardest pseudo wave, but it is pretty precise. And then still activate his Shine Spark so that he was able to use the Shine Spark method to go up that tunnel there. That was very, very impressive. He even ended up doing a weird hybrid Shine Spark method plus space jump method to escape up the water tunnel, which I hadn't actually seen before. It was very, very cool to see. So greggy entered this area at about 102.17, I think. We will see what the difference is once Metatron gets there. This is another particularly tricky Shine Spark speed boost puzzle there. Greggy actually picking up that missile tank. A little light vandalism from Samus there to get over here to pick up the gravity suit on Greggy's side. There's gravity suit for Greggy. We are seeing now there is a fairly substantial difference in timing. So Metatron definitely has his work cut out for him. Greggy grabbing that missile plus tank as well. Let's see how Greggy does on this double robo fight here. Unfortunately got knocked back pretty far, which is going to lose him a little bit of time of being able to hit both of them at the same time. And they're not cooperating with Greggy on this fight right now. He's got to be really, really careful here. He's actually very low on health, and both of them are still alive. Ooh. He barely, I'm pretty sure he like just barely rubbed up against that one with speed boost, or sorry, with screw attack, but managed to jump in such a way that it still didn't damage him. That was crazy. I didn't see the exact time that Metatron entered this area, but I'm gonna guess it's about a 2-minute difference between the two runners right now. Metatron choosing to skip that missile tank. And Metatron has a lot fewer missiles than Greggy. I should point that out. He has 38 missiles right now. I'm assuming he's going to grab this missile plus tank that's coming up, which will put him at 48. But Greggy has 68 missiles. So that could have a pretty significant impact on especially the Raven Beacon counter. And we know that Greggy prefers to use missiles in a lot of situations as well. Again, little light vandalism from Metatron there. Coming over to the gravity suit. And Greggy's about to reach Golzuna. Nice little ball spark method there. Save a little bit of time. See how he does here on Golzuna. Looking good so far. Gets the save. Very nice. Very clean Golzuna kill from Greggy. Very, very nicely done. Metatron on the double robo fight. And he's getting a lot better positioning from them. Got a lot more time to spend hitting both of them at the same time there. Is getting a little bit low on health. Does need to be careful. There's the first one down. Second one should be pretty close to dead already. There it is. Very nicely done. That was overall very, very clean for Metatron there on that double robo fight. Unfortunately, having a little bit of trouble with this charge beam door. The real boss. Greggy moving on to the next area. We're going to do a little bit of maneuvering around, and he'll be off to SQ next. Pick up storm missiles. Metatron about to reach Golzuna. Greggy trying to get this reverse grapple. Actually having a little bit of an issue with it. There it is. Alright, let's see how Metatron does on these last couple of Shine Sparks. Looks like he's going to go ahead and opt for the more traditional method of finishing off Golzuna. The way that he set up that Shine Spark, he wasn't able to get the space that he needed to finish him off with a third Shine Spark. So, unfortunately, has to just shoot him with missiles instead, which does take quite some time, unfortunately. But all in all, for the method that he had to use to do it, actually a nice clean kill on Golzuna. All right, so this next section that Greggy's about to go through can be pretty risky because there's a possibility that Purple Emmy just decides to be in the way. Looks like Purple Emmy is going to be polite, not bother him. He didn't quite manage to hold the speed keep as long as he probably wanted to there, but no problem. We'll take getting through there without getting frozen in place by Purple Emmy as a positive no matter what. All right, here's SQ for Greggy. Let's see if he manages to set up the quick kill here. Not quite. What you could do is get up above him essentially before doing that Shine Spark. But this is still, I mean, this method is still a very fast way to kill SQ, so it's fine. Metatron actually first try on the reverse grapple, by the way. I noticed that out of the corner of my eye as Greggy was finishing up SQ. This is an interesting approach that Greggy's used here. Just throwing in an extra Shine Spark there. I'm not sure if that's faster, but it's definitely cool. He'll be working his way around to eventually take out the purple Emmy, but we've got another double robo fight coming up here first. Gonna set up the, I think he actually managed to get a single storm missile shot off as well. Set up with the Shine Spark, using Screw Attack to finish off Gold Chozo, or the gold robot. Now it's just the gray one left. Nicely done. All right. Metatron on the approach to SQ now. See how he does here. We've just about got Greggy to Purple Emmy also. The Greggy's definitely managed to get himself a pretty substantially... Oh, unfortunate. Metatron actually missed the Shine Spark, which is a pretty substantial time loss, unfortunately. And it looks like he's probably just going to go ahead and call it there for Greggy, but we're going to let Greggy continue to do his run. All right. Well, as we continue here to... it looks like he's going to go for the deep blue method, Greggy is, on Purple Emmy here. Now this method makes him quite a bit slower through here, which allows a lot more time to be shooting him during this. Does mean that you're underwater, so you yourself are also a little bit slower, but that's fine. Let's see if he can get the super quick kill. Looks like he's got it. Very nicely done. There's Wave Beam for Greggy. All right. So yeah, unfortunately, Metatron has decided to go ahead and just give the win to Greggy. He was fairly substantially behind. I'm not gonna lie about that. So it is what it is in that case. But that means we still get to see Greggy continue throughout the run. This, of course, does also mean that Greggy will be moving on. Yeah, and to be clear, that is totally allowed within the tournament rules. There's nothing against the rules happening there whatsoever. Literally just a case of Metatron decided that it was better for him to just go ahead and hand over the win. completely respect that. And Greggy has definitely like earned this win as well. He has been playing very, very well. Super clean on almost everything. He was behind at the start of the race by about 10 seconds. Metatron had a much cleaner Corpius fight than Greggy did, and a couple other things went a little bit better for Meta than they did for Greggy. But Greggy was able to overtake pretty substantially on Atom Skip, and then later on he was able to get through the early space pseudo very, very fast. So he's been playing phenomenally since that early point. And it's a very, very solid run from Greggy. So we'll let him finish it up here. He's just gotten his way through. Obviously, we just saw him finishing up the red Chozo Warrior. One more Chozo Warrior fight, then Ravenbeak, and we're through. We also saw, I mentioned earlier, obviously Greggy tends to prefer missiles for a lot of things over beam mashing. And we saw that very, very clearly there on that fight. He was using a lot of storm missiles, which is actually, if you're able to mash incredibly fast, is very slightly slower, but only just. Storm missiles on those fights is actually pretty quick overall. All right, moving on to the Gold Chozo Warrior. Gets that first missile off. That first missile is actually very important. Sneaking in that extra one before the shield goes up as well makes actually a huge difference on this fight. So we should be able to, yeah, there it is. Able to get that transition nice and quickly. Continuing to just charge up storm missiles as he finishes them off. He's now unfortunately run out of missiles, but was not too much damage left that needed to be done to the Gold Chozo Warrior, so he's able to finish him off no problem. And that will also replenish all of his ammunition. Very, very clean Gold Chozo fight there for Greggy. Now it is time for Ravenbeak. Let's see how Greggy gets through it here. I'm always interested to see where runners actually decide to drop that power bomb. Some do it in the room just prior to that. Some want to get all the way in here and then drop the power bomb. It doesn't make a huge difference either way. It's more of a personal choice, I think. All right, here we go. All right, I think he's going for the, yeah, I think that was 9 missiles. So he's going for the 9+1 method. He's going to be waiting here for a specific counterable move that Ravenbeak will do. There it is. So he's going to just spam away during this cutscene. He's going to get a little bit of damage in, and now he's going to hit again. That's going to force this big move, which will allow him another quick cutscene that he can then use to finish off and hopefully get the gold skip here. There it is. Very nice. So that allows him to skip an entire phase of the Ravenbeak fight where it's called gold skip because he just starts glowing this like golden color. But he's essentially immune to damage, and you just have to dodge for a while, which is slow and boring. So we'd like to avoid having to do that. You can also notice here Greggy is positioning him in such a way that he's got him kind of locked into this corner. That prevents Ravenbeak from doing a couple of moves that end up with a lot more movement having to happen. That was a very nice phase 2 Ravenbeak. Early sun, so he is going to have to stop and drop that power bomb to clear that out. It's not technically required, but if you don't drop the power bomb, you have to spend a whole bunch of time dodging it, which is just annoying. And you'd rather be able to just focus on damage as much as possible. He's going to go for the counter here, and he is going to take the cutscene. That one was kind of a coin toss for me on whether it was worth to take the cutscene at this point or not. He'd been able to pump a bunch of damage. Essentially, we'll see actually what happens right here. Okay, then it was definitely good to take that cutscene. Excellent. Very nicely done. So during the cutscene, you do essentially more damage over time because you're able to spam missiles faster. But if you do it too late, then you end up locked in the cutscene past where you would have finished off the boss. So you end up losing a little bit of time in those situations. So that was very, very well done by Greggy, recognizing the timing on that cutscene and knowing that it was worth it to sit through it for the extra damage per second instead of hopping out of it and trying to finish off the boss faster. I am not sure on this timing. Okay, he did it. That was a method I have not seen before for killing Ravenbeak X. But he knows what he's doing, so it worked out. Now we just have escape. We'll see how Greggy does through here. So far looking very, very clean. Not bothering with the Shine Spark / Speed Keep there. No problem whatsoever. Not a big deal. Nicely done on the Shine Spark up there. Let's see how he makes it through this last little section. Throwing in a little extra light show for us there. And very nicely done. 122, I believe it was 122.45 as he crossed into the cutscene. Very, very nicely done for Greggy. All right. So, we should be able to, if Greggy's feeling up for it, we should be able to get him in here for a little chat and talk about how that went overall. GG to Greggy. We'll be moving on throughout the bracket. I'm not sure if his next opponent has been decided yet. It has not, at least according to the bracket. So, gonna have to find out who that'll be later on. But Greggy has been fighting his way through the lower bracket, doing very, very well to get this far. It's been very, very cool to see. Quite a battle for him to get here. So as soon as he is ready to join in, we should be able to chat with him. But yeah, overall, a very, very good run from Greggy there. We saw some really cool movement. Got Adam skipping, I think it was 3 or 4 attempts. 3 attempts on early space pseudo. Very nice quick kill on Golzuna. You beat J-Lac by 3 seconds in the race and then beat his PP by 3 seconds. That's funny. All right, so yeah, as soon as I see Greggy joining up in Discord, so as soon as he is ready, we will have some quick little chat here. I should also mention, while we have a moment, that there's still a lot of this tournament going on throughout the weekend and coming up as well. A lot of Metroid to be seen in the future.
Hello there.
Hello, welcome, congratulations.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. My goodness, what a run! I cannot believe I PB'd. Very unfortunate that Meta DNF. To be honest, I wanted a fight to the end, but I mean, I understand. I mean, a couple of mistakes here and there, and it was a hard comeback to do. But man, that run was crazy. Honestly, I cannot believe I PB'd.
Yeah, no, that was very, very clean. I was just saying a moment ago, you got Adam Skip, I think, in like 3 attempts. I think it was 3 attempts on early space pseudo as well. Very, very fast Golzuna kill. God, anything else that really stands out to you throughout that run? I feel like it was just like every time I glanced over, it's like, oh, and Greggy's already finished the next part of the run.
I mean, yeah, I was practicing all day, and that Gunzana fight was pretty good. I love the segment there. Like, the entire thing is just flashy. I love it. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's very unfortunate that Meta couldn't clear it, but I mean, there's that, a PB.
Yeah.
Wow. I cannot believe it.
No, and congrats on the PB as well. And obviously, you'll be moving on through the tournament and continuing on to. You'll be up against the winner between, I believe, Root Origin and Naru.
Down.
So we'll have to wait and see who ends up between that one. That race is tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. So we'll see how that ends up going.
Yeah. My God. These are crazy players, to be honest. Like, I know Root has a 119 and Naru had a 122. So yeah, I would have to somehow shave 2 minutes and try to beat that PB now. Now I'm thinking, how can I improve my stuff, because I was pretty fast. I mean, I don't know what else I can improve other than going for bomb jumps and the screw attack section, but I hate that, because if you miss, then you just lose time. I prefer going with a Shine Spark, a glitchless method. But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see.
Well, and you've had a really interesting run through the tournament so far. In fact, I just noticed something about how these brackets are shaking out. So obviously your first round, you went up against Manager, and that's what knocked you down to the lower bracket. You've been fighting tooth and nail your way through the lower bracket since then. And I so obviously you'll be going up against the winner of Root Origin and Naru in the next round. But if you make it past that, you're going to go up against Manager again, who was the one that knocked you in the lower bracket in the first place.
Yeah, I know this. I mean, if I can pull it off, that would be the craziest shit ever.
That would be crazy.
Manager, look out, man. You never know. We might fight it out again.
It's entirely possible. Like, you've been doing very well through the runs that you've had up to this point. So wish you best of luck in your next round. Obviously, best of luck to Root and Naru also. But we will. I've just been enjoying the heck out of watching this tournament. I've gotten to commentate a lot of your matches as well, and every time it's been an absolute treat. So thank you for all these awesome runs that you've been able to show off to us.
And thank you so much for the commentary, bro. It's a pleasure, to be honest. Like, when I look at the restream, hearing the comments it helps me adjust a bit to my gameplay. As you noticed at the beginning, I skipped the E-Tank because I knew I was behind, so I was trying to get some more time there. And I know that there are other E-Tanks I can get easily, like the one out of Elon. Like, most people don't get that, but it's so easy to get. You just do a Shine Spark and a little bomb and you're good to go. So yeah, very stellar commentary. So thank you so much, dude. Very good
Oh no,
stuff.
thank you. Thank you for the commentary on my commentary. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was thinking that as well as you, because obviously you normally pick up that E-tank in the runs that I've seen you do before. You normally pick that up, and I thought to myself, I wonder if this is because he knows he's behind and needs to make up some time, and also knows that there are a couple later on. So it's good to get confirmation that that is actually what was going through your mind at that point.
Yeah.
That's super cool, and that's one of the coolest things I think about watching these speed runs in a race format is you get to see runners making like on the fly decisions in their routing like that. It's very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks again. Any other last comments or shout outs you want to make before we wrap it up here?
I mean, thank you to everyone that showed up. Thank you for the commentary, and thank you guys for the tournament. It's very amazing. I've been improving in this game, and thank you so much, Meta, for the match. Please follow Meta. This guy is pretty good at the game too, so please give this guy a follow. Give everyone a follow. What am I saying? Everyone is important here. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. We're gonna sign out.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for the run. It was really, really cool to see. And like I said earlier, there's still a lot more to this tournament coming up. We've got currently 2 matches scheduled for tomorrow, some on Sunday and Monday as well. So keep an eye out for those matches on all of the SpeedGaming channels. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks to Greggy and to Meta for the run here today. My name is Devilor. I'll be signing off, and I will see you next mission.